Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. In the heart of Manhattan, the prestigious Metropolitan Museum of Art was abuzz with excitement. The annual charity gala, hosted by the elite Ashford family, promised an evening of glamour, philanthropy, and high-stakes networking. However, beneath the surface of elegance lay a brewing storm that would change everything. Maya Williams, a young woman of color, stood outside the museum, clutching her invitation tightly. She had worked tirelessly to secure a spot at this exclusive event, representing the Williams Foundation, a philanthropic organization dedicated to supporting underprivileged youth. Dressed in a simple yet elegant black dress, she took a deep breath and stepped inside. Unaware of the chaos that awaited her as Maya entered, she was immediately met with disdainful glances from the Ashford family. Victoria Ashford, the matriarch, was the first to pounce. "Get this trash out of here before she embarrasses us all," she sneered, grabbing Maya's arm and shoving her backward. Maya stumbled, her invitation slipping from her grasp and fluttering to the marble floor. Preston Ashford, Victoria's son, whipped out his phone, capturing the moment for TikTok. "Look everyone, someone's playing dress up with a fake ticket," he laughed, zooming in on Maya's shocked face. The crowd of elite guests began to gather, their phones raised like weapons, ready to document Maya's humiliation. "Ladies and gentlemen," Victoria announced, her voice dripping with mock concern, "we have a gatecrasher situation. Some people simply don't understand the meaning of exclusive." The laughter from the crowd echoed through the hall, and Maya felt her heart race. She knelt to collect the torn pieces of her invitation, her hands trembling as she fought back tears. Have you ever been destroyed in public by people who had no idea they were signing their own death warrant? Maya thought bitterly. The Ashford family formed a circle around her, their phones capturing every angle of her disgrace. The atmosphere shifted as whispers of judgment filled the air. "Miss, do you have any other form of identification?" James Patterson, the head of security, approached with visible reluctance. Maya looked up, her voice steady. "I understand there's been some confusion about my presence here tonight." "Confusion?" Camilla Ashford, Victoria's daughter, scoffed. "Girl, there's no confusion. You don't belong here." The crowd erupted in laughter, and Maya felt the weight of their judgment pressing down on her as the situation escalated. Maya's phone buzzed with notifications. "Dad, Ethan Williams." The screen read, but she declined the call, unwilling to let her father witness this humiliation. Victoria seized the moment, mocking Maya's phone. "Even her phone calls are disruptive," she sneered. The tension in the room grew palpable as more guests joined the circle, their phones recording the spectacle. "This is actually insane," whispered Rebecca Sterling, a prominent socialite. "It's like watching a social suicide in real time." Just as the crowd began to revel in Maya's downfall, a distinguished elderly man stepped forward. "This behavior is reprehensible," he declared, his voice cutting through the laughter. "You're destroying the integrity of this institution." Victoria's smile faltered, but she quickly regained her composure. "We're simply maintaining standards," she insisted, her voice dripping with entitlement. "This young woman doesn't belong at a $10,000 per plate charity gala." Maya stood tall, her dignity unwavering. "This is what the Ashford family thinks of a $100,000 charity donation," she said, her voice calm yet powerful. "You've shown everyone who you really are when you think nobody important is watching." The crowd fell silent, the energy shifting as Maya's words resonated. The Ashford family's facade began to crack, and the tide of public opinion started to turn. "You made this a spectacle," Maya continued, her eyes locked on Victoria. "Now, let's see how you handle the consequences." Just then, the doors swung open, and Ethan Williams, CEO of Williams Tech and Maya's father, strode in, flanked by his legal team. The atmosphere shifted dramatically as he surveyed the scene. "Maya, are you all right?" he asked, concern etched on his face. "I'm fine, Dad." "Just educated," she replied, her voice steady. Ethan turned his gaze to the Ashford family, his expression hardening. "I received an interesting phone call from my daughter. Something about your family's approach to community relations. Victoria's face drained of color as the implications of Ethan's presence sank in. Mr. Williams, I am mortified by what happened here tonight, Dr. Sarah Collins, the museum director, stammered, desperately trying to salvage the situation. Dr. Collins, you're not responsible for the Ashford family's behavior, Ethan replied coolly. But you are responsible for how your institution responds to it. He turned back to Richard Ashford, Victoria's husband. Let's discuss some numbers, shall we? As Ethan laid out the financial realities of Ashford Industries, the crowd listened intently. Without our partnership, your company has approximately 67 days before bankruptcy, he stated, his voice unwavering. The Ashford family's facade crumbled further as the weight of their actions became clear. Maya seized the moment. If they're willing to do the work, real work, not just damage control, then maybe they deserve a chance to prove they can change, she proposed, her voice strong and resolute. The crowd murmured in agreement, sensing the shift in power dynamics. Richard Ashford, realizing the gravity of the situation, nodded. We accept all conditions, he said, his voice trembling. The crowd erupted in applause, the tide of public opinion firmly against the Ashford family. As the gala concluded, the Ashford family faced a reckoning. They had been given a chance to redeem themselves, but the path ahead would be fraught with challenges. Maya's dignity had turned the tide, and the world was watching. Months later, the Metropolitan Museum hosted a summit focused on corporate accountability and social justice. The Ashford family, now transformed, stood alongside Maya, who had become a powerful advocate for change. The room was filled with business leaders, activists, and community members, all eager to learn from the past. 6 months ago, I stood in this same space being called trash, Maya began, her voice steady and commanding. Today, we're here to discuss how we can create a future where dignity and respect are paramount. The audience listened intently as Maya shared her journey, emphasizing the importance of accountability and transformation. The Ashford family, once symbols of privilege and prejudice, now stood as examples of growth and change. As the summit concluded, Maya issued a challenge to the audience. The question isn't whether you'll face moments of injustice, you will. The question is, what will you choose? Will you lift others up or diminish them? The crowd erupted in applause, and Maya smiled, knowing that the seeds of change had been planted. The gala that was meant to humiliate her had become a catalyst for transformation, proving that even in the darkest moments, dignity and resilience could shine through. In the months that followed, the Ashford family worked diligently to rebuild their reputation. They engaged in community outreach programs, partnered with local organizations, and committed to diversity training for their employees. The transformation was not easy, but they were determined to prove that they could change. Maya, now a prominent voice for social justice, continued to advocate for underrepresented communities. She launched initiatives aimed at empowering young people through education and mentorship, ensuring that they had the resources and support needed to succeed. As the Ashford family embraced their new mission, they began to see the impact of their efforts. They hosted events that celebrated diversity, invited speakers from various backgrounds, and created scholarships for students from marginalized communities. Slowly but surely, they began to earn back the trust of the community. One evening, at a gala celebrating their new initiatives, Maya stood before a crowd of supporters. Tonight, we celebrate not just our achievements, but the power of redemption and growth, she said, her voice filled with passion. We have the opportunity to create a better future, one where everyone is valued and respected. The audience erupted in applause, and Maya felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. She had turned her pain into purpose, and in doing so, had inspired others to join the fight for justice and equality. As the years passed, the legacy of that fateful night at the gala transformed into a powerful movement for change. Maya's story became a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that even in the face of adversity, resilience and compassion could lead to a brighter future.